Hello everybody and welcome to the Investorweek 2020, still live from the House of Innovation in Stuttgart. And today we start with a hand-picked group of investors that discuss on investing strategies during the pandemic. But before, we have an investor on stage that sheds some light on COVID winner from an economic perspective. And we also have another startup from the digital health ecosystem that demonstrates the need of robotics now and in the future. Our last keynote for today comes from Anne-Sophie Reinhold from Hella Venture, and you can have a look at all the videos from the Investor Week on the platform houseofinnovation.io on air. As tech enthusiastic with proven entrepreneurial mindset and experience in management consulting, Paul will introduce us some interesting facts about COVID winners with observations from the Newcom portfolio. He joins us from Munich, so hello and good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Karina. Thanks for the intro. Glad to be with you, if not in person, at least virtually in this case. So, once again, good morning to everyone. I'm Paul. I'm a senior investment manager at Newcom. I want to talk about what we have observed within our portfolio during the crisis, during kind of the first lockdown and now going into the second lockdown. So I'm happy to share some insights. Very much looking forward to the Q&A. So this is by no means going to be a fully frontal presentation, but instead I'm very much looking forward to having a strong discussion around what you have also observed within startups as well as investors. Just very briefly, I want to shed light onto what we at Newcom actually do, who we are, and what maybe differentiates our investment approach from certain others. So we as Newcom, we're a growth investor and buy and build platform. We're fairly new kid on the block. We were formed in 2018 when General Atlantic decided to invest into a couple of consumer internet assets that ProSieben held at the time. And so we believe to be somewhat of the best of both worlds, between focusing on our topic, COVID winners and losers. Of course, just like everyone else, our asset companies have been heavily shaken by COVID and the impact it has had on the economy. And just like everyone else, there have been some winners and some losers throughout our portfolio. So very clear winner, absolutely remarkable, has been Flaconi. So Flaconi has seen tremendous growth over the last year. We've grown revenues by nearly 50% year on year, have added over 500,000 customers, have added over 100 brands. So Flaconi has really been in strong demand, simply because people were now looking to get toiletries and these kinds of articles, perfume, beauty products, to get them online. So that has really driven growth at Flaconi, and we're quite happy about how the company has been performing since. Whereas, of course, we have other assets such as Billiger Mietwagen, where basically the hold in tourism and the strong stop in travel has severely hit our top line, and where we've seen close to zero revenues over a couple of weeks. So these have been tough times for these assets. And the overall picture, of course, while being positive as a whole, has seen some ups and downs.
Yeah, Paul, thank you so much for these interesting insights about COVID winners' observations from the Newcom portfolio. And I think it's time to start with your Q&A session with Leonard and the audience. And this is also a reminder for the audience to ask questions for Paul.
Hi, Paul. Thank you also from my side. Great insight and very nice keynote. I really like the insights from your Newcom portfolio, the ups and downs, and how you manage your portfolio. It's really great. Let me just step into the first question for you. So in the pre-talk, you mentioned that you're responsible for Jochen Schweizer and MyDays. So clearly one of the portfolio firms where you pointed out where out-of-home entertainment is kind of a loser on the portfolio side. So how do you actually handle such portfolio firms currently in the Newcom portfolio? What are you actually doing there? How do you handle that?
So specifically for Jochen Schweizer MyDays, two things were quite important for us. So as with other assets, we really focus on securing liquidity quite early. So that was very helpful in managing our company. And secondly, we were able to onboard some new products, some virtual products that really helped us to get through the crisis. So to give you an example, maybe you're looking for something for yourself. We have a fairly large range of virtual Christmas parties that people can now book by Jochen Schweizer MyDays and that are in high demand. So the company offers a virtual space to other companies and sends out gifts or Christmas packages that, for example, include a wine or gin tasting for people to then have a virtual Christmas party together. And it's all organized through Jochen Schweizer MyDays. And if you are able to actually add these products to your product line very quickly, then it will help you to kind of get through the crisis. And also, being the category leaders in the experience space, we felt that a lot of people were looking for experiences, and especially experience vouchers that are valid for 3 years, because they were having something to look forward to then after the crisis. And so that helped us quite a lot during the last couple of months.
And welcome to our stage for our next starter pitch with Thomas Link from Varomo. The founder of Varomo will explain us now in his pitch how you want to democratize autonomous transportation service robotics. Thomas, the stage is yours.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Thomas from Varomo, and we are on our mission to democratize autonomous transportation service robotics. We solve the problem of that autonomous service robotics are way too expensive for mass adoption. On the one hand, the industrial robots are very expensive, complicated to control, and often require intervention in the infrastructure. And on the other hand, the household robots are a little weak on the breast, little intelligent, and so not really a bit inadequate for transportation tasks. So this two combined leads to a lack of mass adoption of autonomous robotic technology. Our solution is a cost-efficient modular transportation robot. We cost about an eighth of the price of an industrial robot, but have the same performance.
Yeah, this is great. I think this is exactly what the society is currently asking for, right? Focusing on the people and having the technology helping for all the other tasks and protecting the people. Yeah. Do you want to add anything for your investor research?
Well, if there are some investors out there who love robotics, always feel free to talk to me, shoot me an email, or just call me. If there are companies who need UVC disinfection robots or people with senior homes who could need help for autonomous technology, always shoot me an email or call me. I'm happy to help. Thanks for having me.
That's great. Thank you, Thomas. So Thomas Link from Varomo, autonomous robotic in health. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs, and I wish you good luck.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
We are very happy to have Anne-Sophie Reinhold from Hella with us. She will present a keynote on how about to enable future business models. So I'm looking forward to your speech, Anne-Sophie.
Thank you very much. Hi and welcome to my speech on enable future business models at Hella. My name is Anne-Sophie Reinhold. I'm the head of Hella Fast Forward in Berlin, and I'm part of the digital innovation team within Hella. Starting with facts and figures about Hella. Hella is a global market-listed family-owned company with 125 locations in over 35 countries and with a sales of 5.8 billion euro in fiscal year 1920. We do have around 36 employees, thereof 8,000 in research and development, and do have three main segments in our business portfolio, which are automotive lighting, our biggest business unit, automotive electronics, aftermarket, and special applications. Within the automotive segments, we do have different products like full LED headlamps, clear-free high beams, and for example, in the electronics segment, we do have components around energy management or automated driving. Since our foundation of Hella in 1899, Hella focused on the expansion in the beginning, then continuous improvement and further development of the global production network. Of course, we use traditional tools a lot, like lean manufacturing, lean development, and as every tier one supplier, we did a lot of design to costs activities. We further developed our product portfolio, especially in context of the global trends like autonomous driving, electrification, efficiency, and of course, connectivity, individualization, and digitalization.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anne-Sophie. Yeah, with such strong international working relations, it was super interesting to follow your speech. So now Mika and Uwe will join the stage for an open discussion with you.
Hi, Anne-Sophie. Welcoming you here in the Q&A session of your very interesting and detailed talk. Were a lot of new information for me, and I'm very happy to see you growing and enlarging your activities. But let's discuss that in this Q&A. With us is also Uwe. I saw him already here on my screen. Uwe, can you hear us?
Now you can hear me.
Here we go. Okay. So having you three or you two with us in the conference, it's always a pleasure. And maybe I can start with my first question to you, Anne-Sophie. You said you have a strong network to the Valley as well as to Shanghai. Yeah, give us some insights. Do you see different trends currently occurring in Asia or in the US comparable to us in Germany?
I don't know if we really can talk about different trends, but I guess it's very important, or for Hella, it's very important to focus more on the Asian startups, because they do have a more, I would say, best price approach, and that's very important for the automotive industry or for tier ones at the moment.
Welcome back, Investor Week 2020. We have a panel discussion coming up. We'd like to discuss the investment strategies during a pandemic. And with me for this discussion, I have great international speakers again. And I'd like, as Mika just mentioned, I'd like to welcome back on stage Anne-Sophie Reinert and Uwe. She will just continue with staying with us. And then we also have from our sponsor with us, the Jürgen Meyer. He joins us locally from Fürstenberg Forum. And from an Italy stage, I'd like to welcome Nicola Avi. And he has a private equity investment background, so he will provide his insights to this panel discussion. And last but not least, from our country, partner country, we have Matthias Jegi. He is an investor from Liechtenstein Venture Capital. So everyone, hi, welcome to this panel discussion.
Great, so thanks a lot. As a corporate VC from with an automotive background, and I guess Anne-Sophie now is also, of course, automotive background. there will always be some hardware because you need to utilize the hardware. So maybe Jürgen, coming to that topic of software versus hardware, what are your thoughts on that?
About my thoughts, it's a summary of different investors. We have inside the forum, we have a lot of family offices, private and institutional investors, and also all kind of investors. And the main thing I feel in the moment I see is that they didn't go now in hardware invests. They only focus on software invests. In our club, we have mostly the future technologies. That means medtech and for sure the IT software too. But inside medtech, there is a big uncertainty to see that there is the medical device regulation. They put 1 year behind. They wanted to start this year in April, and they said, okay, we go to 21 and start next year. That means half of the medtech enterprises will disappear from the market, and that's a real big uncertainty. That also the invest in medtech is getting lower than last year.
Another question, I'm just going to shoot. Another question here comes. Do you think generally there are a lot of investors that do not know where to place their investors right now? So is there too much dry powder in the market that is not yet put into investments for strategies? Who has an answer for me for this one?
Maybe I'll take that as a corporate investor as well. There might be some German angst around. And there's a lot of, uncertainty in the employment market, and they're cutting hours or days. So from a CVC point of view, it might be hard to argue against the employees if you spend a lot of money into new invests instead of keeping the stuff in the house on the one hand. But talking for us, we haven't changed our investment policy yet. So we are still looking at software and at hardware, and we also haven't changed the ticket sizes. We just made use of some additional possibilities also offered by local government, for example.
Uwe, we have 3 minutes left of these 40 minutes. Time is flying by. I'd like to understand from you, what are your highlights here, Investor Week in total, but of course also here from the panel discussions? What are your takeaways?
I mean, the highlights, that's really tough as we have now 5 days of presentations from Asia, Europe, and the States, or let's say the Americas, including Mexico, and a great panel now. So I would say the highlight is the whole event. The question I would have to the audience is, how did you like it? Did you like the split into 5 days and shorter sessions, or would you prefer maybe only 2 or 3 days and slightly longer sessions? I think we covered a great range from finance to economics to hardware to robots, drones, airspace regulations. So I wouldn't pick one as my preferred one. I think all of them have been great.
Yeah, I certainly agree. It was a good range from, as you just mentioned, not only mobility. We had digital health. We have had fintechs. We had a bunch of investors really helping us to understand key and strategic changes that had to do. For me, it was very also insightful having professors on board, having investors in startups. So I think it was a very good combination of them all. If this was the right format, Uwe, we will find out most likely in the comments and from the audience. But for now, I like to thank and appreciate all of the panelists that have been here with us today in the House of Innovation, somehow live, even though virtually with us. And I think, again, we had some good key takeaways for everybody who was listening to us. And from my side, thank you very much. And I wish you a very happy weekend after this long Friday.
The Innovation Week 2020 is over now. We had 5 days full of pitches, innovation, and impacts. And we had almost 50 international investors, keynote speakers, and startups here on stage. Mexico, Japan, the US, the UK, France, Italy, Poland, Belgium, Turkey, Denmark, and of course Germany, just to name a few of them. Our partner country in this week was Switzerland, represented by the Swiss Business Hub. At this point, thanks a lot for your support and for the input. A special thanks to our piano player Sebastian for having good entertainment with lovely music. And don't forget that your ticket is the access for the video platform houseofinnovation.io on air, where you can find all the videos from the Investor Week 2020 to watch them over and over again. It is incredible what co-creation can bring to the table. And this shows that we already have a dense network of high caliber investors, speakers, and startups. When there are any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. And when you are here in Stuttgart, come to the House of Innovation for maybe having a coffee with us. We would love to have you here. So, and now, best wishes from the whole Investor Week crew, from Vector Venture Capital and Akito Flux. See you soon.